everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be taking a look into the Garritan CFX Concert Grand. I recently received a comment asking what my thoughts are about this particular piano plugin, and so I decided to check it out and let you all know. First, let's get into the backstory about this piano library made by the company Make Music. It was recorded and sampled in one of the world's most famous recording facilities, Abbey Road Studios. The piano sampled in this library is the Yamaha CFX Grand Piano. This piano is entirely hand-built by the finest craftsmen with an MSRP just under $200,000. Seeing how this plugin comes in at $199 and was meticulously sampled in a world-famous studio by world-class engineers, I'd say we're getting quite the bargain. Speaking of price, some nearby competitors would be the Ravenscroft 275, Pianotech 8, and Native Instruments Noir, to name a few. You can see my demo for Pianotech 8 linked below. I'll be doing a demo on the other two soon, so make sure to subscribe. Of course, there's also Keyscape, but that is double the price, albeit it comes with a lot more than just a single piano. With that being said, let's dive into the Garritan CFX. There are three main perspectives that shape the overall sound of this piano library. You have Classic, which most faithfully captures the natural tonal character, clarity, and nuance of the instrument. Contemporary, which creates a piano sound that is bright and hard with lots of attack from the hammers, but also maintains the piano's warmth with intimate ambience. And Player, which offers the experience of playing the CFX from the piano bench in Abbey Road Studio. Now, it doesn't stop there. In each perspective, you get a few different mic positions. In Classic, you get three. You get close, midfield/wide, and main. In Contemporary, you get close and ambience, and in Player, you get close and player. Let's take a quick listen to the different perspective and mic placements. The Garritan CFX also includes presets which are not only great starting points, but allow you to see possibilities of the library at a quick glance. Now let's pull up the plugin and take a dive around the interface and the sounds. So let's dive right into the interface. So here we go. We've got preset area, so you can save and load presets. Up here with the main menu selection, so we have main, piano, sound, advanced info, and then we have a little mixture section here for the close ambient mics and the master volume, a little limiter pan, so this is pretty cool. Down here you can see the pitch, fine pitch, the pitch standard, octaves, and then the mic perspectives that we talked about earlier. Let's start with the first page. So first we have this main page here. It's got the image of the piano, and we just play. That's beautiful. Absolutely love that. That's lush. Let's see here. So I guess it's just where you just play. So piano, we have, first thing I notice here is we have the open, close, and half, right? So open, of course, grand piano's open. I love this bottom end. And then we can do the half, which is gonna half the lid. And then of course we can close it, which will give it the most muffled sound. I like that's nice. Okay, and then let's keep it moving. Don't want to bore you with my playing. We have the room release decay. So this confused me at first because I thought there was reverb on the piano. But we talked about how this was recorded in Abbey Road Studio. That's a massive studio. So what we can do here, we have the ambient mics, and then we have the close mic. And then we have the room release decay, so we can turn the room down. See that? So if you want more of a close, intimate sound, that's how you achieve that. I had a hard time understanding it at first. I was like, there's no reverb on. Where's that coming from? That's just the sound of the room, the studio room. It's gorgeous. It's a great sounding room. So we can cut off the ambience and then shorten the release, and we got that. If you want to add your own reverb or add more reverb here, or if you just want to dry your sound, so you can do that. I kind of like mine in the middle and then mixed in with some ambience. Okay, let's go to the studio page. Now here we have the reverbs and the EQs going on here, which is nice. So we can function with that, and then stereo image, you can change that as well. So what's cool is if you don't want to do the mic perspective, you can actually mess around with it here. And let's mess with the reverb. So let's go back here, turn this decay down. Let's mute the ambience, and let's see what the reverb sounds like. And then we have to send it. There we go. Okay, so we would send the full signal. So this is how much you want to send. So we'll send half and return back. So let's do deep space. That's interesting. I like that. Let's send a little bit less. Let's go here. Okay, it's a bit much. Let's turn that back a little bit. I like this. This is nice. So you have different types of reverbs you can use here. Plate verb. And this is the reverb only, right? So it's not mixed in with the ambience. So that's great. This is a gorgeous sounding piano. So A+. Definitely getting lost in it. Okay, let me keep moving. So we have the EQ here. You can adjust your EQ. That's self-explanatory. And then the advanced. This is where you can adjust your velocity curve. Now this is really important. This is like how you get the most out of your keyboard library. Every key bed feels different because the velocity curve is different. And if you don't hone this in, you will have a bad experience with your keyboard, with your plugin, because you feel like, oh, it doesn't respond right, because the velocity needs to be set up. So what you can do is if you have a hard touch and you feel that you're reaching the top velocity too much, you can dampen it by dragging this down. And that means you'll have to press harder to get more out of it. And so you bring this down. And you really got to dig into it to get out of it. Right? But if you increase it, it makes it lighter, which means you can hit softer and get a brighter sound. So you can change it to your taste, and it looks like they have some presets here. So go through that, find which one works for you. And is there like a default? Let me go back to default. So find which one works for you, but just know that's a really important part to getting the best out of this library, or any library. You've got the partial pedaling and repedaling. My pedal doesn't support that, but that's great that they have that in here. You have dynamic range. That's great. So this is set to 50 by default. If you turn it down, that means you have less dynamic range, which means it's like a compression built into it. So this is their compressor. I love these one knob compressors for these piano libraries because they're so simple to use. It just makes it easy and accessible for everyone. So if you don't understand compression, that's okay. If you want more dynamic range, turn it to 100%. That means when you hit light, it's really light. Now watch this. When I turn it all the way down and hit light, you see how I brought it up? So, and then watch when I hit hard, it keeps it the same level, versus here, I get more of a peak. So it's by default to 50%, but if you feel like, hey, you're about to record and you're doing like studio applications where you don't want a huge dynamic range like in classical recordings, you can bring it down like 25%. So that makes sense. So that's really cool. They have that here. And then you can set your RAM allocation. I've got a ton of RAM in my machine, so I have mine maxed out to 16. And I have this maxed out as well because I've got like 64 gigs of RAM, so no worry there. And then of course you can set your tuning as well. So it's got all the options you could need. And then we have, of course, like I said, the stereo width. If you want to go mono, full stereo, and what's cool is you can mix and match. You can have mono close, but stereo ambience, or vice versa. You can have a stereo close and mono ambience. So that's really cool. It looks like there's a limiter on here. Okay, and the pan option. So that's cool. And then, of course, down here is where you can change between contemporary, classic, and full. So here's the contemporary, I think. All right, so I like contemporary. That's more my speed. It's a little more direct in your face. So let's see here. And then last we have the player. I like player. That's really intimate sounding. That's cool. Man, throw some reverb on that bad boy. Let's see here. Let's do Cathedral. Ooh. Excellent. And then of course, down here, we also have the ability to go compact, so it's a little bit lighter load on your hard drive. So that is the Garritan CFX in a nutshell. I'll probably do some more shorts and reels just demoing more of the sounds, but I hope that gives you enough to understand what you're dealing with. And now for my final thoughts. So who is this piano for and who is it not for? Should you invest your money into this or say Native Instruments or Ravenscrofts? There's a couple of different categories of how I rate these things, so let's get into it. So first up, sampling versus modeling. Now, this isn't a better or best, this is just a use case scenario. I have a whole video going over the difference between sampling and modeling linked in the description below, you can check out. This is a sample piano and it is quite large. So I want to say it was like 200 gigabytes or 150. It was a lot. So I downloaded it. I have a fast internet connection and it took a while to download. It took a while to install. So if you're looking for something light on the hardware, this is not the library. It's got great sound quality, but it comes at the price of that massive large library. So if you need something light footprint, check out Pianotech 8. That takes up like 50 megabytes worth of space because it's a modeled piano. So it's not using samples to generate a sound. And it's very easy on processing. So once again, check out that review below if you're interested in a piano library that is light on resources so you can get away using less expensive computer and hardware. Next is sound quality. And obviously this is one of the most important things when considering a piano library. This one passes 10 out of 10. It's a great sounding library, no complaints. It competes with all the other heavy hitters. It's a matter of taste and flavor, not sound quality. This sounds just as good as Ravenscrofts, just as good as Native Instruments Noir, just as good as Keyscape, just a different take, a different flavor. Keyscape uses a C7, not a CFX. This one uses a CFX, but Yamaha's a great piano company. They make great pianos and they did a good job sampling this one. So if you're worried about sound, this one passes 10 out of 10. You will not be disappointed. Now let's talk about the features and controls. This is where I think it differentiates between other softwares. It doesn't have a lot, but that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. I think it keeps it simple. You have your EQ, you have some compression, you have your reverb, and that's it. And it's in a simple, easy to understand interface. It's not too much, it's not too little. It's just enough for you to get the tone that you need to get and play piano. And I think in a world full of so many options in sound design, I think for those who just want to have a really nice piano that's easy and accessible to use and sounds great, this really excels at that. Now that leads me into the performance and responsiveness. Now, like I said before, this is a sample piano, so it streams from the hard disk. You gotta be running SSDs, and this is a large library. So if you're looking for something that's not resource intense, this may not be the option for you. Like I said, Pianotech really excels at that area, being super small file size and then not needing to have any fast hardware to run that program. This one, again, it did fine, but I'm also running an M1 Max. So, you know, on a less expensive computer or just a computer that doesn't have up-to-date hardware, you might find some struggling with the sample streaming. So just make sure you do your research and check your computer for that. They do have light versions of this too to help with that. So don't count it out, just be aware and know that there are light versions. The light versions mean less of a sample set. It'll still sound great, but you won't have the optimal sound quality as you would on the full set. So just keep in mind of your hardware limitations and you should be fine. Now, a variety of sounds, it's a piano. We're not looking for synth and all this extra stuff. It does piano and it does it well. So A+ there. I don't think this is the right package to worry about variety of sounds. That's something more like Keyscape or Omnisphere or some other synth stuff or maybe Native Instruments. But this does enough. It gives you one piano and a bunch of different flavors because remember, you have, I think, 8 different mic combinations between the 3 perspectives. So the different perspectives and the different mic combinations inside those perspectives give you plenty of tonal variation. So if you're looking for a good piano with lots of variation, this hits it. You can do bright, you can do soft, you can do mid. I mean, there's no reason why you can't get the sound you're looking for out of this piano. Now let's talk about the compatibility and integration. I've got this pulled up on my DAW PreSonus Studio One. It works just fine. It comes with all the plugin types, the AAX, the VST3, the audio unit, so you'll have no problem playing it, and also comes standalone as well. So they did a great job on making it accessible standalone and inside DAW. So whether you're just recording or you want to practice, they've got you taken care of. Now, last but not least, let's talk about value for money. This comes in at $199, which is right there with Ravenscroft's $275. The Noir from Native Instruments is $149. Then they have the Definitive Collection, which is $199 with the 3 pianos, the Maverick, the Grandeur, and the other one, can't remember. And then, of course, you have Keyscape, which is $379. So Pianotech is $139, I think, $149 for the standard package. and then like $199 or $250 for the next, and it goes up from there. But I think this hits right home where it should be. For the sound quality and user interface and what it brings to the table, I think this is right where it needs to be. Not too much, not too little. It's a great sounding piano, recorded in one of the best studios ever in the world, and it sounds amazing. And I think you can't go wrong with this package. I would say this comes down to a preference of tonality and flavor. So it's kind of like Ravenscroft sounds great, but it doesn't sound like the CFX from Garritan. And the Garritan CFX sounds great, but it doesn't sound like Ravenscroft. One's not better than the other. It really comes down to flavor. You know, it's like, are you in the mood for Chinese food or Thai food or Mexican? They all taste great, but just what flavor are you looking for? And that really depends on what you're going for, whether you're recording or performing live, and what sound you're looking for. They're all amazing sounding, but they're just small differences like that to be aware of. So I like having all the different options available. So, you know, for me, it's like get both. But if you don't have the money, or if you're just trying to be simple and stick to one, I really feel like Garritan CFX really hits the just classic purest piano sound. So if you're just after a pure piano sound and you want that authentic experience, I really think Garritan CFX will hit that right on the nail. When I'm playing it, it just feels like I'm in the room, in a conservatory, in a studio. Like I feel like I'm at a real CFX, just, you know, and it doesn't sound too digital. It's not too processed. It's not too pretty. So I hope that helps. Again, you can't go wrong with any of these libraries. We're getting to the point now where they all sound great. I think that CFX by Garritan is a really good one to have in the library because it's different. Okay, so like Ravenscroft and Keyscape, they sound different, but they're kind of similar in terms of the tonalities that I get from them. I like the fact that Pianotech and CFX by Garritan have such a different tonality to them that they don't really cross-pollinate. So anyways, that is my review. Let me know if there are any other reviews on piano softwares you want me to do. Comment below, as well as let me know if there are any type of comparisons or verses where you want to hear other ones back to back. Let me know that in the comments as well. And as always, stay saucy. I'll catch you guys in the next video.